Little is much when God is in it. I think of the imagination story of 400 AD. A little Asian monk by the name of Talcus was sitting in his lonely cell meditating. He felt God was saying to him, Talcus, go to Rome. He thought to himself, what I what I want to do in Rome. But if God wants me there, I will go. So he took all his worldly possessions, put them in his little bag, threw it over his shoulder, and started down the long, dusty road westward to Rome. Little monk Tecus got into Rome, heard all the hustle and bustle, and confusion, excitement in the streets. And he said, what is going on? Someone said, this is a day in the Colosseum. Today we have gladiators, animals killing men, men killing animals, and men killing men for the glory of Caesar. The little monk said, maybe that is why God wants me here. He took his seat way down front in the amphitheater, which held 80,000 people. The athletes came out, and the gladiators came out, and the animals were left out. The gladiators would come by saying, Hail to Caesar. And the fighting and the bloodshed began. The monk was sitting there. There was no place to preach. There was nothing he could say. He did the only thing he could do. He jumped over the parapet onto the field and ran between two huge gladiators, coming at one another with swords. In a weak, squeaky voice, he called out in the name of Christ, Forbear. They laughed, laughed, rippled around the amphitheater, 80,000 people strong, and the gladiators came rushing at one another, almost ignored the little monk and sent him spinning off. Then the crowd began to chant, Run him through, run him through. He stood up again and said, The name of Christ, forbear. One of the gladiators took the back of his sword and slapped him into the dust. As he lay there, he yelled, In the name of Christ, forbear. And the second gladiator went over, took his sword, and ran it through Talcamus' stomach, and the blood began to run out into the sand. His last words were, In the name of Christ, forbear. Cheers went up from the theater, but in the upper tier, one man stood and walked out. Seconds later, 4 or 5 others stood and walked out within minutes. The theater had emptied, and the last known gladiator contest in the history of Rome. Christians, get involved. You will make a difference. This is the power of the cross of Jesus Christ. Live it proudly. Take it into the world in which we live. Christians, little is much when God is in it. Some things only you can do. It might not seem like much, but like Talcamus, if you don't do it, no one will. Talcamus gave his all. He died for what he believed in. Our day, we usually don't have to give our lives, but we give our life as a living sacrifice. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Romans 12:1. Ask God what you can do that no one can or will do for him, because little is much when God is in it.